there, Antonio here from Paired Recruiting. If you're considering hiring international talent, one of the first questions you might have is, do I need a local business entity to pay overseas? I mean, it's a great question and one that can feel overwhelming if you're unfamiliar with cross-border employment. Here's the thing, expanding your team globally can unlock incredible opportunities, but it also comes with its fair share of legal and logistical challenges. From taxes and compliance to payment systems, there's a lot to consider. And whether or not you need to establish a local business entity really depends on factors like the type of worker you're hiring and the regulations in their country. In today's video, I'm breaking it all down. We'll talk about what a local entity is, when you might need one, and the alternatives available if you don't want to go that route. By the end, you'll know exactly how to move forward with paying overseas talent. No stress required. And remember, if you're looking for a hiring solution that simplifies the process, Paired Recruiting is here to help. Let's dive right in. In simple terms, it's a legal structure that allows your company to operate in another country. Think of it as setting up a branch of your business in that location, complete with its own registration, tax obligations, and compliance requirements. For example, if you're a US-based business hiring employees in Argentina, you might establish a local business entity in Argentina to comply with their local labor laws and payroll regulations. This entity would allow you to legally employ workers, pay their salaries, and handle benefits like Social Security contributions, etc. Setting up a local entity can make sense if you're planning to hire a large number of employees in one country or if you're looking to expand your operations there long term. It gives you full control over hiring and payroll while ensuring compliance with local laws. However, creating and maintaining a local entity is no small task. It involves a lot of paperwork, ongoing administrative work, and costs like registration fees, taxes, and legal services. That's why many businesses explore alternatives, especially if they're hiring just one or two people overseas. Whether or not you need a local business entity largely depends on the type of worker you're hiring, specifically whether they're classified as an employee or an independent contractor. If you're hiring an employee, most countries require you to have a local business entity. That's because employees are subject to specific labor laws that regulate things like minimum wage, benefits, tax withholdings, and termination policies. Without a local entity, you won't be able to comply with these regulations, which can lead to fines or other legal issues. For example, countries like Germany, Brazil, and Japan have strict labor laws that require foreign employers to set up a local entity to hire employees. This includes paying into local social security systems and providing benefits like health insurance and paid leave. On the other hand, if you're hiring an independent contractor, you typically don't need a local entity. Contractors are considered self-employed, which means they're responsible for handling their own taxes and benefits. As long as you have a clear contract outlining the terms of the work, you can usually pay them directly without needing to establish a presence in their country. The key is to ensure you're classifying your workers correctly. Misclassifying an employee as a contractor to avoid setting up a local entity can lead to serious legal consequences. If setting up a local entity sounds too complex or costly, don't worry, there are several alternatives that allow you to hire and pay overseas workers without going through that process. One of the most popular options is working with an employer of record, or EOR. An EOR acts as the legal employer for your overseas workers while you maintain control over their day-to-day tasks. They handle compliance, payroll, and taxes on your behalf, so you don't have to set up a local entity. This is a great solution if you're hiring employees in a country with strict labor laws but don't plan to establish a long-term presence there. Another option is to hire workers as independent contractors. As mentioned earlier, contractors don't require a local entity since they're self-employed. You can pay them directly using platforms like Payoneer, Wise, or bank transfers. Just make sure your contract clearly outlines the terms of the work to avoid disputes. Lastly, some businesses use global payroll providers to manage payments and compliance for international employees. These providers don't act as a legal employer, but can simplify the administrative side of things like currency conversion and tax calculations. Each of these options has its pros and cons, so the best choice depends on your specific hiring needs. For independent contractors, the process is relatively straightforward. After signing a contract, you can pay them using international payment platforms like Payoneer, which is great for transferring payments in multiple currencies. Wise offers low-cost currency conversion and fast transfers. PayPal, a common option, though its fees can be a bit higher for large payments. Make sure to keep detailed records of all payments for tax purposes, both for your business and the contractor. If you're working with an EOR or global payroll provider, they'll handle the payment process for employees. Here's how it typically works. You provide the EOR with the employee's salary and any additional benefits. The EOR processes payroll, withholds taxes, and makes the payment to the employee in their local currency. You pay the EOR a monthly fee for their services, which often includes the employee's salary plus administrative costs. This hands-off approach is ideal if you want to focus on your core business while ensuring compliance with local labor laws. Hiring overseas comes with its share of tax and compliance obligations, even if you're not setting up a local legal entity. For example, many countries have withholding tax requirements for payments to foreign contractors. This means you might need to withhold a portion of the payment and remit it to the local tax authority. The rules depend on the country and whether your business has a tax treaty with that location. You'll also need to issue proper documentation like invoices or Form 1099, depending on the contractor's location and your country's tax laws. Keeping accurate records is essential for avoiding penalties and ensuring compliance during tax season. If you're using an EOR, they'll handle most of these requirements for you. However, it's still a good idea to consult with a tax advisor to understand how international hiring affects your business tax obligations. While alternatives like EORs and contractors are convenient, there are situations where setting up a local entity might be worth the effort. For example, if you're planning to hire a large team in one country, establishing a local presence can be more cost-effective in the long run. Instead of paying ongoing fees to an EOR, you'll handle payroll and compliance directly, saving money as your team grows. Similarly, if you're planning to expand your business operations, like opening an office or entering a new market, a local entity gives you full control and legitimacy in that country. However, keep in mind that setting up an entity involves significant upfront costs and ongoing responsibilities, so it's important to weigh the benefits against the effort required. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about paying overseas workers and whether you need a local business entity. Let's recap. If you're hiring independent contractors, you likely don't need a local entity, but you'll need to ensure compliance with tax and payment regulations. For employees, alternatives like employer of record services can save you the hassle of setting up a local presence while keeping you compliant with labor laws. Expanding your team internationally can be a big step, but with the right strategy and tools, it doesn't have to be complicated. And if you're looking for guidance, Paired Recruiting is here to help. Whether it's finding top talent or navigating the complexities of global hiring, we'll make the process seamless. Ready to take that next step? Visit our website or click the link in the description below for a free consultation. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone exploring global hiring. Got any questions about paying overseas workers? Drop them in the comments and I'd love to help out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.